Therefore, he must help Philip solve all the problems before leaving Eastcliff and returning to Orus Hill. Seeing Charlie's agreement, Philip sighed, took his wineglass, and said, "Come on, Charlie, Uncle toasts to you." Charlie nodded and clinked glasses with him again. Lennon saw the two drunk happily, and whispered to Sarah beside her, "Your dad hasn't been so happy in a long time." Sarah also nodded repeatedly, and said in her mother's ear, "It seems that from the time Uncle Wade's accident until now, I haven't seen him so happy." Lennon was under the table, gently holding her daughter's hand, and whispered, "Charlie is a good man, you must hold him." Sarah was a little embarrassed and said, "Mom, you know. Charlie is already married and he is not divorced." Lennon said earnestly, "Stupid girl, he is your fiancé since you were a child. This is his wife who robbed you, not your husband." After a slight pause, Lennon said, "Besides, in Orus Hill, I don't believe that a daughter with a family can be worthy of Charlie, and the local richest man is far from qualified. Looking at the entire Eastcliff city, those who can be worthy of Charlie, except you, only the girl from the Sioux family. And you have a marriage contract with him." The two families are still friends for many years. It is justified and created by nature when you marry Charlie. Moreover, by then, you and him will have more sons. Your dad will definitely be happy all day long. Sarah's pretty face flushed with shame. "Mom, then you say, how should I hold it? I don't have any experience in this area." Lennon said, "I will teach you slowly when I turn back." At this time, Charlie also responded to Philip with a glass of wine, and immediately said, "Uncle, I am here this time. In addition to seeing you and Aunt Lennon and helping you treat your illness, I also want to go to my parents' tomb. Where are the parents buried now?" Philip gave a melancholy sigh, and said, "Your parents are now buried in Waderest Mountain in the western suburbs." Waderest Mountain? Because Charlie listened to Philip uttering these two words, he didn't know which tomb belongs to his parents. Therefore, he asked in surprise, "Uncle, why haven't I heard of this place you are talking about?" Philip said, "Waderest Mountain is actually a mountain with excellent feng shui in the western suburbs. Originally, your parents were buried in the tomb of Wades in the northern suburbs, but something happened to the Wade family 4 years ago. They bought this mountain and renamed it Waderest Mountain. Wade is the leaf of your family, and the mausoleum is the resting place." After speaking, Philip said again, "After the Wade family bought Waderest Mountain, they invested hundreds of millions to refurbish and develop the mountain. This development took 3 years. It was not completed until last spring. After the completion, the family moved the entire ancestral tomb. When the ancestral tomb was moved, there was a lot of movement and great momentum, and everyone in Eastcliff knew it." Charlie frowned. The Wade family has been in Eastcliff for hundreds of years. Over 100 ancestors were buried in the ancestral tomb. On such a large scale, the Wade family said that the accommodating hole moved? Philip nodded and said, "I heard the rumors about this incident that your grandfather fell ill unexpectedly 4 years ago, but no problem could be found. It did not help to seek medical advice anywhere." Later, the Wade family also traveled across the famous Sichuan and Dishan mountains across the country and visited many experts. After seeing the experts, they all left without saying a word, turning around, and asking why they didn't mention a word. Your grandfather was in madness. He went to the United States in person, and he invited back a 100-year-old Chinese feng shui master after 3 visits to the thatched cottage. After the feng shui master came, he visited the tomb of Wades and said what the feng shui bureau of the Wade family is dark, and it's not easy to resolve. So he instructed the family to move the ancestral grave to Waderest Mountains. Charlie didn't care too much about Wade family feng shui and moving the ancestral grave. He has no interest in the people and affairs of the Wade family. For the family, he actually only cared about 2 things. First, where the parents are buried, and whether he can worship them. Secondly, who were the people who hurt his parents and whether they were the Wade family members. As for the other things of the Wade family, he didn't want to take it into his mind. Therefore, after listening to Philip's introduction of Waderest Mountain, Charlie asked, "Uncle, can I go to Waderest Mountain to worship?" Philip said, "Waderest Mountain is the ancestral tomb of your Wade family and a place of feng shui. Usually the Wade family controls it very strictly. Outsiders can't enter at all. Even if I go, I have to greet the Wade family in advance and make an appointment. But you are Wade family's son, just say hello and you should be able to go directly." Charlie shook his head and said, "Uncle, I don't want to tell them anything. I don't want the Wade family to know that I have come to Eastcliff, so I don't want to have too much contact with them for the time being." Philip thought for a while, and then said, "Well, let me call your uncle later and say I want to pay homage to your parents and ask him to say hello to the people below. Then you disguise and we can go there together. After all, you look so much like your father. If you are in your generation, parents Wade, they will definitely recognize you." Charlie hurriedly got up and bowed deeply to Philip. "Uncle, thank you for your help." Philip hurriedly got up to help, and said with a trembling voice, "Charlie, what are you doing? You are the great benefactor of our family. Why bother to salute me for this little thing?" Charlie said solemnly, "Uncle, it's not a trivial matter to me that my deceased parents mattered. My parents passed away 18 years ago and I never went to the grave to pay homage. It's really unfaithful and unfilial. It is of great significance to me that you can fulfill me and give me this opportunity to fulfill my filial piety. How can I not salute you?"